But you still left a good enough impression.
To be honest, I question my whole life after those situations. What about me attracts crazy shit? That's where it got me messed up. A self-reflecting of my whole life and why am I attracting this crazy shit?
Well, all the creepiness was in Florida, right? Maybe this is like a latitudinal issue.
You know what? I've never had a stalker or like situation like that here in Virginia. I've met some weird people.
My world is faster and faster. The tears and the laughter. I'm here for the ride. Yes, yes. I'm an emotional mess. Yes, but you wouldn't want me any less. Yes, 'cause you know how wild it could get. To love an
Hello,
emotional
everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Unfiltered Pineapple Podcast. This is Orik, joined by my friends Antony and Platypus, aka Platty Daddy. How you two doing today, gents?
Doing
Ew.
well. When did he become Platty Daddy? I want to know what happened that I missed that he became a daddy.
Oh God. I don't like where this is going.
What, you guys don't use
Anyways,
pet names? You guys don't use pet names with your friends and your cohorts?
I
oh man.
don't know where it came from. It just happened.
Speaking of
Hmm.
friends and pet names, real quick, this just came to mind. Not in my hall, freshman year of college, but in a adjacent hall. There was a kid I knew. His roommate was known around campus as the greaser because what he would do is one, not shower. Two, every day morning he would wake up, he'd grab his jar and just scoop a nice, nice amount of stuff out the gel and just slick his long hair back with one motion to where you could hear it plop on his back, and then throw on a shirt and go out for the day. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so he was known as the greaser around campus.
Yeah, I see where they were going with that one.
Yeah, I don't know about
Hmm.
that.
You guys don't have any nicknames for your roommates and such?
No,
Um,
I don't have any nicknames for no roommates or anything. I did have like some weird stalkers in the past. So any of y'all had a stalker?
yes.
Ooh, how many?
Um,
At the same time, or just
no, I was fortunate to not have a concurrent thing, but well, I mean, I can tell a very quick 5-second story. My ex showed up at my house at one time, but then another time, which is more drawn out and sad and nasty, is my barber kept hitting on me and trying to get a hold of me, and it was weird.
Hmm.
But yeah,
That's a barber. That's a little weird. I mean, I do follow my barber, and my barber follows me from Tampa online. But we were cool. But that, like, it can't
I
just
did,
be anybody. I
I did
had
like how you had to
two.
specify on mine. It's like, yeah, I moved here and he followed me. Still my
Yeah,
barber.
I make sure I say online. No, my barber is not following me around and showing up outside my apartment. No, that 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 would be stalking. Um, no, I've had a couple stalkers, two back to back, and
and
they both went a little different. Um, but just to give you a rundown, the first person turned out to be someone who was dating for a few weeks, and then I decided this isn't going to work. Something's not right. And I remember saying to myself, or not just to myself, I said to them, I was like, you're either crazy or you're on crack. Um, Come to find out, it was both. And I was going through it with this person showing up at my apartment, banging on my apartment door at midnight, threatening me night after night after night. And like not just threatening to ruin my life, threatening to cause damage to my vehicle. Um, and then it escalated to where this person even said, "You're never going to get away from me," and moved into the same apartment complex. Oh my God. You
Are you
talk
sure
about
this wasn't your
insane.
barber?
No, this won't my barber. But they actually moved into the same apartment complex. Next thing I know, I look on my back patio, someone stole one of my flowers that I had on my patio, and I look outside and it's my stalker walking back to their apartment.
Is this a first floor,
Jesus.
or were they like just reaching across from the third floor with some long makeshift pliers?
This person was in a different building across from my building. But it was in the same complex, the same community. That
Gotcha.
was the most uncomfortable I've ever felt being in my own apartment. And to make matters worse, this person even called my job, made up a lie about me to where I had to then prove myself to my job again. Like, prove who I was, submit all my documentation and everything. Because they made up some crazy lie, and I don't know what exactly was said, but I almost lost my job because of this crazy person.
Did they happen
Um,
to move into an apartment where your window looked into theirs and vice versa? Or were you not?
no,
Or were you a
luckily
bit
there were
lucky?
no apartments available to where they could look in my window, but it was in the same community, so they just walked up and were waiting and threatening me outside my door.
Gotcha. Yeah, the window part always makes things the creepiest.
What the is that the I mean, did it go any further than that or it just moved close by? I mean, that's a lot, but did it hopefully
Um,
just end there?
so this
And
person,
as someone who doesn't
it
know,
gets
is this just
worse.
all coincidence? Is it all coincidence, or was this targeted at you?
No, this was targeted at me.
Just making sure. Just
This
making
person
sure.
was interested in me and I wasn't interested back. And then it gets even worse because this person at the time was very famous on YouTube. Being in the area I was in, there's a lot of famous people that lived in that area at the time. And this person was very well known in the community and online for many videos that were made. And went and bashed me with lies on social media. I received threats from people in my social media accounts. I deleted all my social media that I had built up for years with all these followers. I deleted everything out of fear and totally disconnected from social media for months. And it was really bad. Like when someone that big bashes you online to where when you go out to a club and people recognize you because you were bashed online. And then the person showed pictures of me on their profile and different things, and it was really, really bad. And this went on for months. This person kept making videos about me on YouTube, and it caused me to close off for about 6 months. I didn't go out anywhere. Um, I didn't go online because if I went online, people would recognize me and bash me. And then one day, a video popped up online that they were admitted that they were on drugs, and I didn't do anything wrong. But that was really, really crazy. Always be mindful. And what's even funnier, well, it's not funny. when I went and looked up this person's criminal history, they actually had a criminal history. So, lesson learned, do your research on who you're talking to and see if they have any public records. Because yeah, I would have avoided a lot of craziness. Um,
It's not something you normally would think to do either.
no,
I've
you
seen
wouldn't.
weirdos out here.
Yeah, very much so. Like, I never thought that I'd have to do like a public record search on people, but this day and age, you kind of have to. Like, there's so many fake people, like
Well,
meeting
even the
people
public
online,
record
you
searches
never
have some
know.
problems. They do have some problems, but they still are generally correct, so they can be helpful.
What is it?
Most public record searches obviously have a margin of error and sometimes pull the wrong records or sometimes they pull something that actually doesn't exist. But they still have over 50% accuracy, so that's good. Uh,
Oh yeah. No, I
so it's
looked at
better.
the
It's better than nothing, but still not 100% real. Just want to put that out. Still not 100% reliable, but still better
yeah,
than nothing.
I went and looked at the local county's public records of a recent arrest and saw the mugshot
Hmm.
and the reason for arrest. Um, but yeah,
Unfortunate.
Speaking
um,
speaking of public speaking of public record searches, didn't your employers have to do one on you when you had to redefend yourself?
yes, but anytime something, I still don't know the details as to what was said. It wasn't released to me, but
Yeah,
there's
that's
no
I can see
telling
that.
what could have been lied about.
Scary
Hmm.
thought.
Yeah, it's very crazy.
Gee,
Wasn't
And
there?
then,
Go ahead.
no, you can go ahead.
I was gonna say, wasn't there? I recall, wasn't there a time where an employer tried looking you up and they found a convict instead of you for the job?
Oh, you
what?
remember that? Yes. When I was trying to get my first apartment, I got denied, and then come to
Yes, that was
find
it.
out my public records were mixed up with a criminal who had the same name as me, lived in the same county as me, and had the same birth month as me, and was also the same age. So, the I almost
God,
want to change my
you're
name.
so basic.
Yeah, it's so
What are the
basic.
odds?
Isn't that crazy? And then what I realized is a few months prior, I had gone through a job interview and thought I had gotten the job. And then I got a notice that the background check went through and then I wasn't chosen. And I always wonder if I didn't get a job because my public records were mixed up.
Man,
Yeah.
Quite a coincidence. That's always a chuckle.
Yeah.
The No, I certainly haven't had a stalker experience of that nature. Um,
Yeah. That was bad.
actually, I don't. Myself have not had a stalker experience. I know other people that have. So can certainly summarize a story or two from them, but obviously don't have the details and I'm a little fuzzy. But uh, there was one person. This was also at college in their senior year. She had, and it's a she. She had gone to a party, and obviously someone had followed her, tried to break in, and that didn't go so well. But ultimately, ended up being someone that she'd known for many years. Who she decided not to call the cops because they were in a drunken stupor, but they didn't ever interact afterwards. So
Yeah.
great way to kill a friendship that was.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. People are crazy. You have to be careful nowadays. And then, like, as soon as I tried to put myself back out there again, like nearly a year after the incident, I ended up meeting someone
the
who,
greaser.
uh, who happened to be a property manager at a major apartment community. They looked up all my contact information, my full name, all their stuff, like all my personal information that was in the system. Because being in this apartment community, there's several communities owned by the same company. They have all access to tenants from all over the place. Well, this person misused their accesses and found out a lot of information about me, knew where I lived, started texting my phone and after I had already blocked them because they were being weird and I told them I wasn't interested. Blocked them, ended up finding my cell phone number in their system, texting me, and then finding me on all my other social media platforms, blocked them on all the other social media platforms. They went and made a whole new account and then started messaging me all kinds of profanity and crazy messages. And I only met this person and went on one date. One date. I met them one time and it turned into this. And that was crazy to me. And even
So
worse,
was this retaliation for where you took them on a date, or did it just not go well? Like, not everyone
no,
enjoys a
like
Taco Bell date for first dates.
the date I think went well, but there were a few things that happened that I was like, you know what? This person's giving me weird vibes. Um,
Gotcha, gotcha.
like there was just some staring and weird, like creepy shit that you'd see in like a movie. Like just the staring and body movements were really off to me. And I was like, this isn't going to work. And to make it even better, this was also a very popular YouTuber or TikTok star person. Um,
Content creator, social media
y-
content creator.
yeah,
Got it.
also started bashing me on their profile after that.
What the
Uh,
what's
Yeah,
wrong with
So,
people?
I hate social media at
did
this
you?
point.
I hate to ask it this way, but did you ever back down from the staring contest, or did you just stare right back? Just like, look, we're gonna make this awkward together. That's how a date works.
No, I've gotten to a point now that like when I go on dates, if I know I don't like them, I'll purposely start acting weird just to get them to leave me alone. If I know that they like me, but I don't like them, then I'll purposely act weird so that way it turns them off and makes them want to leave me alone because I do not want another stalker situation.
I want to go on a tangent right here. What is weird for you? I'm curious what weird behavior means coming from you.
Yeah, I
I
just
guess
immediately pictured like intentional farting or something. But
no, like too much
Beyblading it at the
smiling, too
table.
much
Let it rip
excitement,
with the pasta. Pasta and meatball Beyblades.
or
Mhm.
like I'll figure out things that they don't like, so I start asking questions, especially like political things, because that is a good way to like deter people. Is if you start talking about something political related that they don't necessarily agree with, and I'll just start saying some crazy shit politically related to get them to not want to talk to me.
Wait, you're like trying to start a bar fight so that they'll get distracted by the bar fight? Like that's
No, I talk on the low. I don't say it around like at the bar or whatever. But like when we're walking and talking out like in the city or something, I'll start bringing up things.
Is this like an under the breath thing? Like you're walking like, God dang it, Dick Cheney? Or is this
No, this is a straight up like policy talk.
God, you go
um
straight into it. Gotcha. Yeah, you're
Oh
not
yeah,
subtle.
because I want to hear what they don't
Straight in.
like, and then I'll purposely like twist it so that way they like don't want to talk anymore. Especially if they're trying to like make plans again or they're going to be too much. No. Once I decide I'm done with that date, I'll say a few things that make them not like me, and then that'll be that.
So your weird activity is all spoken. There's no behavior thing that you exhibit that you put
No,
on
because at that
that
point,
to off-put people.
at that point, I can't even think about my own behavior. I just want to get out of there. So I got to say something that politely, like, and purposefully pushes them to want to go as well.
I ju- Real quick, I just remember that one Family Guy sketch where Peter comes back from the bathroom for a date, and he looks at the waiter. And it's like, "Hey, is that employees must wash hand signs only for employees?" Technically, yes. All right. Oh, look at all this bread.
That would be me trying to get out of being somewhere.
Mm.
And when you said weird behavior, that's just where my mind goes. Is just tendencies like that. But no, certainly or not good conversation, but poorly chosen conversation topics are a great way to ruin a date.
Oh yeah.
Platypus. You got any conversation topics you like to use to ruin your dates or
I
friendships?
fortunately, see, fortunately, I haven't been in a position where I have to like, I guess where I have to do that. I mean, I just like I guess I had the stalker problem and weird roommate problems, but I haven't been in a position where I just have to start like discreetly insulting them or acting weird or like doing jumping jacks in the middle of the date or whatever to get them to like question my sanity, which is
Gotta get this
nice.
food down. You gotta get the food down. One, two, three. What was
But
your stalker situation? I don't think I've heard of this one. What was your stalker situation?
well, so this was around when I first graduated and had started my first serious job. And when I got back into town, I needed like a new barber, just like to be more convenient with where I lived.
Was
But
this Antony's barber?
yeah, maybe it's the same person. No, but I met this barber through my mom's. I was like, okay, well, you got to be a pretty cool dude, and he was for the most part, but then he would just like make these unwanted sexual advances or comments, which at first I would just ignore it, but then I would say things that indicated I wasn't interested or something, or like I don't know. If he was trying to like make advances or something, I would be like, God damn, she's hot. If there's like a girl on screen or something, it just kind of like diffused the weird horniness that was building up. 'Cause, like, I tried hanging out with him because it was kind of cool because he was cool at first. And actually, as it happens, his brother went to our high school and I knew him a little bit, and his brother was cool. So we would all hang out periodically, but just that type of shit would happen. And it kept getting to be too much. And then it started to get weird where like you could almost swear that, like he thought that we were dating or something because he made like a weird allusion to having problems with like a Scorpio or something, and I'm just like, God damn it, I just need my hair to look good. And then he like
Wait a
yeah.
second. I the You're gonna have to text me who this person was. Do I know them?
I doubt it. I really doubt it. Pretty unlikely.
I mean, that would
But
be great
where
if it
I
was the
drew the
same barber
line
for
is
both of
that
you.
like, wait, what?
That would be great if it ended up somehow being the same barber for both. Like he started with you turned him down, and then he just found his way to Florida with Antony for a while.
Oh man, that's quite a crossover. But like where I started to draw a line was where I mean I started just like trying to chat him up less and less, and it is honestly hard to find like a good barber that you're cool with. So that's not really like a. I wasn't trying to burn bridges or anything, but I just wouldn't humor it, and I'd pretty much only reach out for a haircut or something. But even that just got like weird and annoying because I would just be like, hey, you got any openings like within these dates next week? And instead of just like being like, oh yeah, no problem, here's what's available, it'd be like, "Hey, Platypus, I'm pretty good. How are you doing?" And it's like, I don't need this sassy fuck shit. I need my hairline to look straight. This is fucking stupid. But so where I started to draw a line is like my mom started getting in touch with me like, "Hey, just letting you know that, you know, Barber Man, I won't name drop, but Barber Man's just trying to like get in touch with you and like didn't know where you were or something like that." And I was
What?
thinking, well, this is really, really weird because he would also like occasionally he would call my phone, but he would actually blow it up. Like we're talking back to back to back to back to back to back phone calls. And they just
What?
act like that's normal.
Oh
Yeah, no, like
no.
6 plus times in a row. So
Huh.
after that shit where my mom was like, "Hey," it's just like asking me like what was up with you and all that, I was like, I reached the oh hell no point of this whole interaction, and like, I just happened to check my email, and what actually kind of pissed me off is that it said that I had a new follower, and I looked at the username, I was like, "God damn it, it's him." And, like, the problem with this is that I didn't actually maintain my Instagram at all. Like, I shit you not, I only made an account because this girl I was talking to in college was like, "Why don't you have one? You should make one." And she wore me down enough to make one, but then I didn't put anything on it. So it was just like a dead husk of a social media account that just like existed in the ether of the metaverse. Well, it wasn't the metaverse back then, but whatever. Point being, there was nothing on there, but dude was going out of his way to like find my like social media, which I actually don't really have any. But then he was like trying to follow me, and at that point, then I typed up this super long ass note, and then I shared it with one of my friends, and I was like, "Hey, can you proofread this shit? Because I'm laying out all of my issues with what's going on and like why I'm not really like we can't be I can't talk to or deal with this person anymore. Like, it's just it got weird a long time ago. He's kind of creepy." So I shared that with her, and then she was like, "I'm so sorry you had to deal with that, but it looks good." And then I sent it to him, and that was that. And I've
You got some
happily,
great grammar skills. Great
yeah,
grammar and diction. I approve.
yeah, it's important. No, I'm serious. And then luckily since then I've been able to find another barber who's cool and does a good job, and there are no unwanted sexual advances ever. So it's pretty great.
I gotta say, one element to that that really sticks out to me is the fact that he finds a dead Instagram account, dead social media account, period. Like nothing ever uploaded to it, like you said. It's like, oh, this is the way to get a hold of him. This is this
Right?
this this desolate, barren field of nothing is. Oh, I found it. Perfect. He'll want to interact with me now.
Yeah, this will strengthen the bond that's clearly here. Yeah, it
Mm.
was way too much.
See,
Way
this is
too
the problem with the two of you. You're both too attractive and appealing to people. That's why you two have had stalker issues and I haven't.
much. Yeah,
I didn't
that's
hear
what
any arguments, so I'll take it.
that's what
I
we
don't
get
know
for
how to
going to the
respond to
gym.
that.
Yeah, I
Huh?
don't know what to say to it either.
You guys had stalker issues. I have the creepers and the homeless people issues. I don't know how many times you guys have had to interact with them.
No, I don't take,
Mm-mm.
but Orik, I don't take being stalked by these certain people as a compliment.
Oh, no, I wouldn't either. But I'm just saying,
But
you've been in a position where you're at some point, granted, yours is retribution wise, Antony. Mine was a compliment to Platypus. He's good looking enough that someone's like, yo, I don't care how weird this is, how creepy this gets. I want you.
Oh shucks, guys.
Yeah, if you look at it that way. But I know yours were all retribution based, Antony. I know those were like, I hate this guy, I'm gonna ruin his life. Um, but you still left a good enough impression.
to be honest, I questioned my whole life after those situations. what about me attracts crazy shit? That's where it got me messed up. A self-reflecting of my whole life and why am I attracting this crazy shit?
Well, all the creepiness was in Florida, right? Maybe this is like a latitudinal issue.
You know what? I've never had a stalker or like situation like that here in Virginia. I've met some weird people, but most of them do not go to the level of crazy. Now, there's a lot of drug problems here, but there were drug problems there too. But like, I haven't had that level
There's
of
drug
crazy
problems
here,
everywhere.
Yeah.
at least yet. Oh God, I hope it doesn't happen to me again here. What am I going to do? I won't be able to move away.
All right, we're gonna
It's
have a
in
new
my
episode soon.
You might want to start taking some self-defense classes or something.
Yeah, I've thought about it. Thing is, I've never had to worry about protecting myself. I've always been stronger than most of the people I've talked to.
Okay.
I don't think I
That's
would
the problem.
lose.
You pose a challenge to these people. That's your problem. You're too strong.
Oh, so
They need to feel
they
they need to
really
feel tougher and more powerful. Yeah, but you intimidate them.
they really want to take it to the next level.
Yeah, I don't have any stalker stories myself. I thought you said you had multiple, Anthony. Is there another one you wanted to share?
No, it was the two I talked about.
I'm drawing a blank. I already forgotten. The first one was the
The first
apartments.
one was a famous YouTuber that was on cocaine and showing up at my place at midnight,
And what was the
threatening my
second
life.
one?
Ugh.
The
Pardon?
second one I went on one date with that turned
That one. Okay,
into
yeah.
looking up my information in the property management system at the complex they were at, finding my
Yep.
phone number, and then following me on all my social media accounts and sending hateful messages.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought those were both the same stalker.
No, two separate people. I
They're just
pray
so
to God I
related.
don't
Yeah.
get a third go round.
Golly gee, guys.
I'm
And I thought weird
sorry.
roommates were a problem.
I mean, they definitely still are.
Uh, so back to the topic I opened up with. Yeah, roommate stories and weird pet names. Did you guys ever have? You got any
Hmm.
nicknames for your stalkers? Now that you've thought about this for a while?
I never thought about assigning one. Eh, no need. I mean, so far the only nickname slash pet name that comes to mind is the one that my first roommate gave himself, the Galactic Virgin. Otherwise, we just use people's names. I guess we were boring. Might want to work on that.
So I wanted to mention real quick about I mentioned the homeless people. I can't say I was stalked. I mean, I guess I was followed, but I wouldn't say I was stalked. Um, Especially not to the extent you two were. There was a time. What city was I in? Yeah, I was in Florida. Um, I was in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and I had left late at night to go get some. It was like 4 a.m. I left to go get some medicine for my roommate at the time, because they were having all sorts of serious issues. So I went to the CVS like 4 blocks over, and on the way there, obviously passed a bunch of people on both sides of the road, but pass by some like, "Hey, how's it going?" I'm like, "How's it going yourself?" And then we just keep on passing by. Or you see someone on the other side of the road, and they wave at you, and me being the weirdo I am, I wave back. Um, so, anyways, I go into the CVS. I come out, and there's a guy who's just standing. I haven't seen him yet. He's new. Like, "Hey, I see you got yourself some medicine." I'm like, "You're right. How can I help you?" He's like, "Oh man, I'm tough and out of luck. You got any money for me?" I was like, "Yeah, I got some change right here." I picked it up because I figured I'd be stopped by someone like you. He was like, "Oh, really?" I was like, "You would be surprised how many times I get stopped by people like you as soon as I leave a store." So I gave him $3 and change. Like, oh man, that's great. And he hugged me and left. So, as I make my way back to the hotel, one of those people that I waved at across the street on the way there decided that he was going to run over this time. So he ran across 4 lanes of empty traffic, and I didn't care to meet him and just kept walking to the hotel. And I can tell he followed me back to the hotel because the door closed. I heard him go, dang it. Like, all right, sweet. I had a follower. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't think he was out to harm me as much as just probably ask for more money like the other guy did. But
He's a
that's one of the
fan.
more pleasant experiences I've had in Florida.
I had something slightly similar happen where this woman was begging for cash in a Walmart with her granddaughter or something, and I gave her some, but then like she came out after I had like finished shopping and paid for stuff and found me in my car and then like knocked on the window and tried to get more money and it was just like God
Your
damn it.
dollar wasn't enough. Don't you know that?
No, I
Yeah,
gave her
inflation.
it was a bill, like, because it was all I had on me, so it was at least 10, whatever it was. I think that was more than enough, but
Mm. They couldn't even buy a full McDonald's meal.
yeah, that's crazy. The dollar menu isn't even really like the dollar menu anymore.
It's kind of
Couldn't buy a
sad. I
small fry.
remember living off of the McChicken at McDonald's in college, and now people can't do that.
You
Oh
gotta
my
put a
gosh, you were
down
lucky
payment
enough to
on it.
afford McDonald's in college. I looked at my girlfriend at the time when we first started dating, like, I can't buy anything for you. You gotta like me because you want to be with me, and that's it.
It's the kind of wholesome stuff we like around here.
Just lay it out at the start. Be like, this is the situation. You find me interesting as I am, or we can go do something that's free. That's it.
Nice. Concise.
Look, I don't have anything. I don't have any way to illusion you otherwise, and be like, yeah, let's go spend money, and oh, I forgot my card. No, I can't do any of that. I'm gonna get away with it.
Right. Well, guys, I'm gonna have to close out.
Yeah, that's fine. Got some good conversation in. We can go ahead and pick up another time, but it was nice chatting again. Haven't spoken in a while, but great story time. I love it. Great to
Yeah,
listen to, not to live through.
some
Yeah.
crazy stories. I feel like though I look back on my life and I have so many different stories. And sometimes when people get in conversations with me about my life, sometimes they don't believe me. But y'all have been around a long time and y'all have seen me go through some crazy things. So at least y'all believe me when I speak on them.
We keep you around for story time. What else do you
Yeah,
think?
I can bring y'all all kinds of stories for anything.
Everybody
I would.
wins.
Yeah, everybody. Well, I would like to say thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been a nice chatting conversation between Orik, Platypus, and Antony here on the Unfiltered Pineapple Podcast. Follow us on our socials, leave a like, comment, subscribe below, and see the rest of our content. Have a good day, everybody.
See y'all.